That's one of the big questions that is being asked about G4S and getting repeated contracts when it comes to correctional service centres. Turns out they also have a bit of a questionable record over in the United Kingdom. We go back to 2019, the Ministry of Justice there seizing control of the Birmingham prison. So why did that happen? Let's bring in UK Correspondent Olly Barratt, who's been following this for us, and he joins us from over in London. Hello to you, Olly. And let's just talk about G4S, because ordinarily here in South Africa, not a company we would talk about, but it seems that G4S also has a bit of an issue over in the UK going back a couple of years. Just give me the history lesson quickly, if you don't mind.
Yeah, it's a controversial company here in the UK because of several different episodes over the years. One that you mentioned there is that issue around Birmingham prison, which was being run by G4S in a multi-million-pound contract. Back in 2016, there were significant riots at Birmingham prison as G4S was supposed to be running it. And then in the years after 2016, there was really a back and forth between G4S and the government, in which the government attempted essentially to allow G4S to stay in control of the contract, but at various times and various reports came in suggesting that conditions at Birmingham prison really weren't good enough, weren't improving fast enough, and that led to, in 2019, the government completely taking control of the prison, putting it in public hands, saying that it wanted G4S to take back full control of the prison, but didn't feel that it was able to do so. Some of the quotes from the time from the prisons minister back in 2019, Rory Stewart, said the prison needs stability and continuity. He said that the prison had made some progress under G4S since that riot back in 2016, but not enough. He said that the public sector is now better placed to drive the long-term improvements required. In August of the previous year, 2018, Peter Clark, the Chief Inspector of Prisons, had described a dramatic deterioration since the last inspection in 2017, just a year after those riots in 2016. So you can see a real up and down in G4S's management of Birmingham Prison, leading in the end essentially to the confiscation of the contract. But that's not the only issue that G4S has had in this country. You'll remember back in 2012, in the run-up to the London Olympics, a huge controversy when G4S basically announced it couldn't quite fulfil its security contract in the run-up to the London Games, couldn't get enough security staff on deck, and the UK government had to bring in the army to help out.
It was. I was about to say, I couldn't remember that it was the Olympics, but I remember it was a sporting issue ahead of a global event. But I'm glad you tweaked my memory on that, Olly, because you're right, it was the Olympics all those years ago. And even when it comes to how G4S, the spokesperson for G4S correction services here, a lot of people in South Africa not very happy with their explanations. They don't go into an awful amount of detail. They tend to close the doors, if you will. I want to say slam the jail cell on communication, but that would be too cliche. But a lot of people saying that even if they do get it wrong, they don't handle it all that well. I don't know if you would have just heard the soundbite we had from that investigative journalist. There's allegations of people being shocked, malnourished, food being withheld, all kinds of accusations coming out, which are very, very worrying.
And I think it's also worth pointing out, Gareth, that G4S being a UK headquartered company, of course, we have gone to the UK headquarters here in London to try and get a statement. What the UK headquarters here in London say is we have a PR agency in South Africa handling all this, so the statement would be coming from them. We did belatedly get that statement from G4S out of the South African comms agency yesterday, but as you say, it's been criticised in some quarters for not going into huge amounts of detail, perhaps not saying a huge amount. It does say that G4S Correction Services South Africa have fully cooperated with authorities and continue to do so. My understanding from the company is that they are, they believe, waiting for the police to hear on some more detail on their investigation on exactly what happened in May of last year, trying to put the ball back in the police's court on that one, but certainly some criticism for that statement. I think we should also say, just going back to Birmingham Prison and that particular incident here in the UK, it also helps illustrate why G4S are still in business running contracts like these, even as Rory Stewart, the prisons minister, in 2019 was taking control of the prison away from G4S. He said, "We need to be absolutely clear. We still believe in a mixed economy of providers, with some of our private prisons among the best performing in the country." He said G4S itself is running excellent prisons at Alt Course and Oakwood. He said this government believes passionately that private providers should continue to play a crucial role in our system. So as well as all the criticism that G4S has had here in the UK over the years, certainly from a UK government perspective, they're still worth doing business with.
Yeah, it certainly is one of the questions being asked. If there are all these issues, why, and you nailed it on the head, why do they keep on getting these contracts? That's the question that's being asked certainly here in South Africa. Olly Barratt setting the scene for us as to what's happening with G4S, the view of G4S over in the UK. Certainly sounds like it's a company that hasn't been all that popular over in the UK. It certainly seems like that's the case here in South Africa as well. But we will always work according to the official statements from G4S. They say that they're awaiting, as Olly says, more information from the police. But questions are being asked about the prison, the security, the police, and of course the prison company involved.